Hello everybody, welcome to KK's Crochet. I'm Litza, one of the many elves helping KK and Kristen who are hosting Christmas Extravaganza. Today is the 25th of July 2025 and here I am to share with you one of my fun ideas for you to start making for either Christmas gifts or just gifts for all year round. Now, one of my favorite things about Christmas is that you do get to sprinkle in a bit of homemade goodness, in our case, crochet yarny goodness for our favorite people. Yes, our family and friends that we love so much that we want to make something with our hands for them. And one thing that I absolutely love that I've noticed of late that everybody seems to love them, not just me, is forever flowers. Now, as you can see, I have quite a few over there, but my family are wanting them more and more. So what I've decided to do today is just bring you some of the examples that I have been making or some of the flowers I've been making, and there are so many to choose from. So you can basically have your own bouquet of flowers, or you might have a favorite flower that you just wish to just make, or you might have friends that have particular flowers that they enjoy all year round and you can start creating them for them now. In actual fact, one of the best places to send your flowers to your forever flowers is if you have anyone in a nursing home, or even for the nursing home reception desk. My partner Steve, his mum is living in a nursing home, and she has a beautiful little vase with 3 carnations in it, and she absolutely loves them. My children have put in orders for their homes, which was very surprising to me, a very welcome surprise, and they are something that if you also do markets, they are great market sellers as well. So without any further ado, let me show you the flowers that I've made, and you can use any yarn to make them in. That is the fun thing, and I do have a couple of examples for you of the different looks when you use different thicknesses of yarn. I will direct you to some tutorials, but as I said, you can find so many YouTube tutorials if you're a visual learner like me and you'd like to make some. And let me tell you, the surprising thing is that forever flowers are so much easier to make than I ever thought. You will need a few little things other than your yarn and your hook, and we'll talk about that as we go along. So the very first flower that I learned how to crochet was a carnation, and Nastasia has a very beautiful tutorial for these flowers. And I do have a couple of colors here. Now, with these, you can customize them any color you like to suit your home decor or someone's favorite color. And once again, they are so simple to make. So basically you make this top bit and then you make this piece here, and I use glue, hot glue. You can use fabric glue, that works very well as well. And I guess at a pinch you could also sew it on if you wish to. I certainly would not be trying that. And you must have, or you really do need, some of this floral wire. Now the one that I usually try to buy is the one that already has the green on it, so it's got like a layer of the green, but you can buy plain ones. You can actually even use meat skewers. You know how we skewer our meat to barbecue it or cook it in the oven? You can use one of those and then simply wrap your yarn around it and glue it as you go all the way down to create a stem with the yarn to make a fabric one. So that's one way. So you do need some sort of wire or a stick or a dowel, and you will see that I've used some thicker dowels a bit later on as we progress. So with these, I have used DK weight or 8-ply yarn. You could of course use your worsted weight yarn. It just means you will be getting a bigger flower and you'll be using a slightly bigger hook. That's, if with your tension, of course you'll be able to work that out. But once you make one, they get very addictive. I've made quite a few over the last year or so, and I'm absolutely in love with them. And as I said, this is one of the simplest and quickest patterns. You will absolutely love it. Beware the hot glue though if you're using it, because I have burnt myself many a time, let me tell you, but that's just part of the fun. Now my absolute favorite one of all, and I have made many of these, are the lavender. And again, there are many tutorials on YouTube look how beautiful they are. They are so realistic looking. I haven't added any leaves on any of my flowers that I'll show you today. You'll be able to see that. But you can if you wish to, and there are tutorials for that as well. I will link at least one YouTube tutorial for the lavender as well for you. But look at that. Oh my gosh, when you start to make them, I'm telling you now, you'll be highly, highly addicted. And everybody that has received them to date absolutely loves them. Now, I also wanted to make sunflowers, because who doesn't love a sunflower, right? And here is a little sunflower here. And that's the back. Again, I've used the floral wire. You can actually get the bendy wire as well. This one here, the pattern here from Nastasia, actually uses the bendy wire where you push it through and on top, but I've managed to just be able to glue it in. So just play around with your flowers, see what suits you best. And I also tried a rose. Again, I will link the tutorial for this, and here it is here. The bottom is slightly different. I never remember what that's called. And this one was made using DK weight yarn as well. So as you can see, imagine having these, oh my gosh, in a vase all together. How beautiful would they look? And of course, depending on the vase that you're using or the container for your flowers, and we will touch on that in a moment too. I have some examples here for you. It'll, determine how many flowers you put in each vessel. I guess that's the word for it. Now, I'm just going to pop that down here. Now, of course, I love blanket yarn. Most of you that have been hanging out with us here at KK's Crochet for so long would know that. And of course, I had to make some using blanket yarn. Now, here is my sunflower, and I absolutely love it. So the way that I made these flowers that I'm showing you is just following the exact same tutorial for the flowers that I had just shown you, just using blanket yarn. How gorgeous is that? Now, this one does need a thicker dowel or stick for there, and that's absolutely fine. I will eventually be doing that because these were my trial ones to see how they look. Now look at this gorgeous lavender here, and I have used a thicker dowel or a piece of wood, but I think I might need one a little bit thinner, and I do definitely need to cover it. I guess you could also paint these in advance if you want to use them. But how beautiful and luxurious is this one? And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it actually has sparkle in it as well. And then, of course, I had to make a carnation. Now, if I'm to make this again, I might make it using some velvet yarn because this one turned out ginormous, but I absolutely love it. And we do joke that it is like a duster. To collect, like dust your house, so it could be dual purpose. But how gorgeous is it? I absolutely love it. Look at these together. Look at this. I am so in love with these. Seriously, they just make me smile. Now, let me just give you a few examples of how I like to display my flowers. I don't always go traditionally with a vase. Of course you could. So if you have a nice thin vase like this one, I absolutely love just like popping one flower in there generally. But of course you can add more if you wish to. Excuse me. Now the beauty of this is you can have the longer stems if you want to, and you can have maybe 2 or 3 different heights, so you can play around with that. But how simple is that, and absolutely gorgeous. Imagine you have your Christmas table ready, or you're having a little dinner party, or even one of those, like a buffet, whether it be for Christmas. Of course we're talking about Christmas at the moment, but it could be for birthdays, anniversaries, New Year's, and you have these, like if you're having like a cocktail party or a buffet, you can have these spread around. I absolutely love that idea. But wait till you see this one. This is actually my favorite. So this is just a pasta sauce jar. So do not throw them out. This is the perfect shape, and you just pop in some lights, and then, for example, get your little rose and balance it in between there. And how good does that look, guys? I absolutely love this idea. You can put more than just the one flower, obviously, in there. Let's pop in there some... put in a couple of lavender. That's if you wish to. Of course, you don't have to. This all depends on how you want to display your flowers. But I love the idea of just one. So let's pop this one here for now. How good does that look? Seriously, I absolutely love that idea. Now, another idea is if you have like one of your, oh, did you hear that clanging? If you have one of your favorite coffee pots or teapots, this is a great way to display your flowers as well. And again, you know, you can vary the heights of your stems. You can, look at how good that matches, right? You can, you know, add as many or as few as you like. And I absolutely love this idea to have them in your kitchen. That's another great way to display your flowers. And anytime you're in a thrift store or in a bargain store, you know, like a reject shop or an Ollie's or whatever your local, you know, we used to call them the $2 shops are, pick up some little vases. Look at this one. You can tie some twine around it or a ribbon, or, you know, hang a little, you can crochet a little star or something, and then just pop in your flowers. Again, what a great way to gift someone, you know, the little vase to go with their forever flowers. And another thing that I absolutely love keeping, and this one is nearly at its end, and it doesn't matter what size you have. These, I think they're those reeds, or what do you call them? And they have that, like, they smell very nice in the home. You can wash these out really, really well so there's no oil in the bottom. And of course, you can pop in one of your flowers in there as well. Imagine that. So do not throw these out. They come in very, very handy. And if you are having a New Year's Eve party, for example, or a cocktail party, why not keep your favorite bottles of whatever you're serving on the day? Keep these from a previous party, don't throw them out, or even wine bottles. Some wine bottles are so beautiful, the bottles, you can keep those. And again, have them, you know, on the tables around with just the one flower in them. Absolutely love that idea. And at a pinch, if you've just got some nice heavy, I think they need to be heavy. This is quite a thick drinking glass. You can pop your flowers in there. So they're just a few ideas of how you can actually present your flowers or gift your flowers. I absolutely love this idea. So it doesn't matter what it looks like, but that's a great one to give to someone. You know, maybe if they're tea drinkers or coffee drinkers, a nice teapot or coffee pot and some flowers to go with it. Maybe some coffee or some tea, their favorite, like a fancy tea or coffee. That would be wonderful too. So that's my idea for, I think, a great all year round gift. I certainly loved when I received my complete bunch of flowers over there. I treasure them, and like I said, I know many people that have either purchased them or been gifted them. They absolutely love them, and I still have to make quite a few, so I really need to get cracking on that, because I might try to give it to them before Christmas. But I don't think you can go wrong. A single flower with a box of chocolates. The ideas are endless. It's totally up to you, but a wonderful gift. And you can maybe make all your, for example, all your lavenders in one go. That's how I do them. I make them and then I put on my hot glue gun and start assembling. So it is an assembly line basically. So that's one way of doing it if you want to make more than one or two or three or a dozen, depending what, you know, how you're going to present it and who you're gifting it to. So please keep that in mind. Now, KK and Kristen also invite us to maybe share some family traditions or, you know, movies that we enjoy. And I have to tell you, I've spent the last 20 minutes looking throughout my very extensive DVD collection. I have a wall of them. Yes, I am very old school, to find my Home Alone movies. Because for me personally, I cannot go without watching Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. It doesn't feel like Christmas for me. And my children love the movies still, even though they're grown. We do watch a lot of Christmas movies on Netflix and, you know, other Prime and that on TV. But I have to say that, you know, the traditional, for me, most fun movies to watch are those two in a row. And then I know, Christmas is here. So I absolutely love that. And I really do need to find those DVDs. I must have lent them out to someone and they haven't returned them. I don't blame them. They're awesome. Now, the other thing that has become tradition is because our children are all grown now, Steve and I, our children, and they've moved out either on their own or with their partners, they've actually gifted us for Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve for the last few years, they've been coming home and we have a big Christmas Eve dinner and we open our gifts, like we gift each other, we play games, and it's actually a beautiful night. And I absolutely love that tradition, and I love it when they came up with it on their own. So that's become a very new family tradition for us. But the one that's been there forever pretty much is that we've been hosting Christmas lunch for our families, which are growing smaller at the moment, for I would say 30 years, ever since I moved out of home, maybe more than 30 years. And that is something that has continued the whole time. And I absolutely love that because it does bring the family together, and then people do pop in and out. When our children were younger, their friends would pop in and out. Now that they're grown, when they finish where they are, they might come for dessert. So that's a very long-standing tradition. But the one thing that I need to share with a lot of you that don't live in the Southern Hemisphere, so here in Sydney, Australia, it's actually summer for Christmas. So our Santa dresses more like this than traditionally. Don't you just love that he's ready to go for a swim? He's even got his little lifesaver here for when he's swimming around. I absolutely love this Santa. He always makes me smile. And he's even got, look, his thongs on his shirt. I absolutely love that. And his thongs, yes, that's what we call him here, guys, flip-flops on his feet. There he is there. Now, what we usually have for lunch at our home, and of course it varies from home to home, but it's usually a barbecue. And it is so much fun because you get to eat pretty much all day because the barbecue goes for hours and hours. And then we have cold salads and generally cold desserts. So, you know, we'll have some salad and like green salads and potato salads and coleslaws and things like that to go with a variety of meats that we cook, fish, chicken, generally barbecued, sausages. Who doesn't love a sausage sandwich on Christmas Day and everything else that goes with it? And then we generally also in our home have the cold desserts like pavlova, trifle. That was huge when I was growing up. My mum still makes a great trifle. That's jelly and custard with sponge cake. Delicious. Oh my gosh, I'm salivating just thinking about it. And then we're all just stuffed and we just sit around, which I think happens all around the world after Christmas lunch. So, you know, that is always fun. If you're lucky enough to live by the beach, you probably go for a walk after, you know, a dinner, lunch for, you know, to just digest. A lot of people do have backyard pools, which is wonderful. We have the luxury of having a jacuzzi. We're very lucky, and it's nice to jump into that as well in your cozies or your bikinis. So that's pretty much what happens around here Christmas. It's always a fun time of the year. It is a family time, which is amazing. And it is a time to, you know, think of others, not just yourself. And that's what this is all about, having little things that we can say, hey, I'm thinking of you. So I hope you've enjoyed, you know, what I've shared with you today. I have certainly had so much fun watching KK and Kristen's Christmas extravaganza ideas for each and every day. And I thank you for inviting me to join you. I love being one of your little elves. And I think this is year 3, which is great. It's amazing that it's year 3 already. And I don't know if you've all noticed my jumper here. This was especially bought for today. It has been waiting since Christmas when I found it at Kmart in my big Christmas Kmart haul. And I'm so happy to report that it is as awesome as I imagined, especially with all the sparkle. So I'm really feeling very Christmassy right now. So on that note, I'm going to say ho, ho, ho. I hope you're all keeping very, very well. And until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.